Hey everybody, here's Odds and Sods video number 9, I think it is. If it's not, I'm going to make it number 9 anyway. So this is the Crossley 9302 radio that I showed you in a previous Odds and Sods video, the one with the handle that goes through the chassis that's really dangerous. I can't begin to tell you how much grief this thing has given me. So someone had rewired it. They disconnected all the wires that went to the battery connections. This was an AC-DC set. And whoever did it didn't have a clue what they were doing, and they rewired everything wrong. So of course when I changed all the caps and put in the proper tubes, nothing worked. And I found out the output transformer was blown, and I was lucky to find an All-American 5 output transformer, 10,000 ohms, which was unusual. And I found that for like $10, which was really cool. So I'll show you that later. I had to replace the selenium rectifier, and I did put a resistor in there, and that resistor is 100 ohms, and I obviously put a meter on the filaments of the IR5 tube, and used my decade box and was able to figure out that that's a 100 ohm resistor. So I've got all that working. I then had to figure out how to wire this thing, and the antenna connection is what threw me for a loop. It's got 3 wires instead of 2. And it took me a while to figure that out. Someone had just taken a wire and wrapped it around the tuning capacitor, and it didn't work. I had to touch this to make volume. I had to actually touch the chassis to get some kind of volume. But we've worked through that. It probably needs an alignment, but we've got something. So that's good. So we're actually in a much better place at this point. I replaced all the capacitors, as you can see, and I had to trace the entire schematic down to figure out what was going on here. But I'm happy that we're in good shape. So we're in a much better place. Here's the electrolytics. That's 2 of them. There's actually 4 in this thing. Here I have a 33 and a 47, and I've got a 20 right there, and then I've got 1,000 right there. And all this needs to be mounted and tie wrapped neatly, but we're in good shape. And if you look right down there, you can see that output transformer that I was able to find. And I got that mounted. So next step is going to be clean this thing up, get these wires all buttoned up nicely, and then there's a red plate. I could show it to you actually. That sits right on top of there and covers all those wires. I think I have it here somewhere. I don't. It's okay. I'll show you next time. So that's what we're doing with this Crossley. So we actually have it playing again. So that's good news. But like I said, I had to use my schematic tracing skills on this one to figure everything out. Let's see what else we got cooking. Alright, I want to show you guys what my next project is going to be. It'll be just a one video project, but this is something I've not ever found anywhere on YouTube or anywhere on the internet, and maybe there's a reason, I don't know, but I'm going to build it anyway. And this is going to be an electrolytic capacitor decade box, essentially. But what I'm going to use it for is a little bit different. So for those of you that restore antique radios and amplifiers like I do, one of the first things that you usually do when you get a new device that you want to restore is you take out the electrolytic caps, which are usually old and dried out, and you take a pair of alligator clips, and you take a capacitor like that, and you put some alligator clips and throw it on your desk and plug it in, and you see if it works. And I do the same thing. And while that is a good test to see, you know, if the device actually works out of the box, it's unsafe, right? So something like this could have 500 volts going through it, 600 volts. Leaving it on a desk like that is not safe. And then you've got to discharge them. And it's a recipe to get hurt. So so what I've decided to do is to build this electrolytic capacitor decade box. And you know, I'm still designing it, but really what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a front panel like this, and I'm going to drill holes, and I'm going to use these banana plugs. I'm going to have one on each side, a positive and a negative, okay? And I'm going to mount the cap behind it somewhere. And I'm going to put a bleed resistor on each one. and I'm going to connect the common rail and have this voltmeter here so I know what voltage is going through it. And I'm simply going to use these banana plugs, just like this. And I'm going to have one side for the positive, one side for the negative, and depending on if the negatives of the caps go to ground, I can put these in parallel together. But I plan on putting as many of these in there as I can. So the common values that I'm going to use are 22s, 47s, a 60, an 80, an 8, a 4, and I have a 30 which I'm going to put in there as well. And this way this box will be closed, it'll be safe, I can plug them in, do what I got to do. When I unplug it, the resistor will drain the caps. I don't have to worry about touching them on a counter. I don't have to worry about my cats jumping up on the desk and getting electrocuted. I don't have to worry about putting a bleed resistor and draining them when I'm done. It's safe, it's cheap. I got this thing on Amazon for $8.79. It's a metal enclosure, just like that. And I got this this meter here, and I think I paid $3 for the meter. And the most expensive part of the caps. I've got a whole bag here of these banana clips, and I'll make sure I color code them so I know exactly what I'm doing and know which is positive and negative. And that's the plan. So I actually remove this and relay this out a little bit differently. But that's what I'm going to make. I've never ever seen one of these, and it'll definitely come in handy whenever I'm testing a new device. So so that's the plan on that. I may mount the caps to a circuit board. I have one here. I haven't decided yet, or if I'm going to mount them directly to the back of this plate. I don't think I'm going to have the room because they're fairly large. So I'll probably mount this circuit board in there somewhere and put the caps on here with just some wires running to the front plate. If any of you have ever seen something like that, let me know, but I haven't found it. So that's my next project. I also have a Hammerland coming. I was able to find a really good deal on a Hammerland HQ-129X with the Jensen speaker. Okay, and it was found in a barn, no water, no rat poop, no nothing, just kind of a time capsule just sitting there, and I should have that in a couple of days, and I'll tell you, I got that for a steal. I really did. So so that's going to be something that I restore, and I'm going to definitely treasure that piece because it's a beautiful little boat anchor. I think it's like 45 pounds or something. And I've seen John from Arkansas with his, and I always loved it when I saw it, so I'm going to go for that. So that's what I've got coming up next, and I'll put up just a separate video for this piece and show you what that looks like. But that's all I'm going to post for today. So I'm still working on that Crosby radio, getting that buttoned up, and I'm curious to know if you've ever seen something like this. All right, that's it for now, folks. This is Ron. I'll see you guys later.